This is huge news for NASCAR. Please tell us, what does it mean for the sport?
Skip, it shows that if you give black drivers, Skip, for the long, like Wendell Scott did not have like what Richard Petty and some Junior Johnson and some of these other guys, the Allison guys had. He had little mom and pop shops, shop, and you had to borrow parts and you had to do this and had to do that. Well, Bubba Wallace now is with Jordan Racing. I think it's called Jordan XL with Denny Hamlin. So now he has the best engineers, best spotters.
Talking about legit.
Yes, best crew chief. He has the best that money can buy. So he can go up against the Hendrick Motorsports and the Gibbs Motorsports and the Penske's and all those. He can go up against them now. But Skip, I don't know if it's going to bring more black youth to that sport because that's an expensive sport. To getting go-karts and to getting the mini karts, Skip, that costs. It ain't like I get a pair of gym shoes, Skip. I'm good for at least 3 months. You got to have tires, you got to have engines, you got to have all that stuff. But it just shows, Skip, that when you give people true opportunities and true, what I said, sometimes people just need a real opportunity. Yeah. And that's what Bubba Wallace has. I mean, it's easy to say, well, he's in there, but Skip, when he got one sticker on his car, that shows that the sponsors are not there, so he doesn't have the money to invest in the team. Skip, it costs. Man, you see how many, I don't know if you've ever been to NASCAR, but I'm a huge NASCAR fan. I've been. Man, you see how many tires, those tires not expensive. Those engines and to be able to, and those crew, man, it's a cost a lot of money. And Jordan he has Jordan and Denny Hamlin backing him. He has the resources to go out there and compete. This was a great win. To win Talladega, now he's just going to have to be consistent. Because when I talked to him back in February, he says, I have the resources now, Shannon, to be able to go compete. Now it's on me. Yep. It's not a situation where if I had this, if I had that, I have the best of the best.
Yep.
Now it's just on me to go out there and get it done. And I was happy to see Bubba get that done yesterday.
Good for you. I've covered Indy many times, the Indianapolis 500, but it's open wheel racing and it's more of an international sport, as you know.
Yes.
This is dyed in the wool, so to speak. Right. This is a southern origin.
It's not as regional as it once was because, Skip, for the most part, when I was growing up, it was really regional. It was just southern. And then all of a sudden it branched out to the Midwest and it came to California with Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson and all those guys. But for the longest time, it was basically that southern circuit. Basically, you went from maybe from Connecticut back down to Alabama and Florida, Mississippi, all up in there. That was it. But it's got a bigger hold on society now.
Before I get into what Bubba pulled off yesterday and the achievement and the breakthrough of it, the milestone of it, just a couple of quick words about Wendell Scott that you brought up, because I've read about him for years. But you want to talk about doing it the hard way? It's 1963. He won on a dirt track in Jacksonville, Florida. Came up the hardest way. Had to worry about driving out of town and getting stopped in the dark by some police who might just end it right there. And he won a race very controversially that I think, from all that I've read and heard, he flat out won fair and square because it was supposed to be 200 laps. And he actually went 202. He passed the grandstand twice, the start-finish line twice. And it was back in the day that they're keeping laps with pencils and papers, manually.
They check it off. Okay, that's one for you.
Okay, 1 lap, 2 laps. And when they're pitting, it's hard. You lose track of who's ahead. And they initially awarded the race to Buck Baker. And again, Wendell Scott was incensed and he protested, and he didn't say, you did me dirty. He just said, I think you miscalculated here. It took them 2 hours to try to recalculate, and they finally awarded him the winnings. So he got the money, but he never got his trophy, and his family has fought for years to get to find the trophy, and they never found the original. NASCAR a year ago gave them the replica. So this is Wendell Scott, who actually suffered injuries in a big crash at Talladega that ended his career about 10 years after this. But he did break through and win in 1963, and I don't know how he did it, because you want to talk about raw racism, in-your-face racism.
Of course. And it was like that, Skip, and so he didn't have the opportunity that a Bubba Wallace has. And so now that Bubba has the resources, he has the means, he has the backing, so now it's just on Bubba, because Bubba has the best simulators. And I was talking to Bubba, it's like we don't really go to the track, and because it's gotten so expensive, we don't really test the cars. Basically, what we do mainly is simulation. They get in the simulator, Skip, and they do that. That's what they do. They might test for Daytona because, unlike most sports, Skip, their Super Bowl is at the beginning of the season with Daytona. So they might test a car here or there, but for the most part, it's simulation. And so for Bubba to have the resources and the means and a true opportunity, Skip, well, he has an opportunity, but opportunity without resources in a sport like that, it's kind of like golf. Tiger Woods didn't bring the black U to the golf club, the golf course, like we thought, because golf is expensive. Man, you got to have, what, 13, 14 clubs. Them clubs not cheap.
You have to travel as a kid. You have to go play tournaments all over the country. It's hard.
I think Venus and Serena did a better job of getting young black girls to the court. But Skip, those rackets are expensive. You don't need just one. You need like 3 or 4, and they're like $300-400. And then you got to get into, now you got to get in, like they came up on the public courses out in Compton. You need to get to the country. It's hard. It's to travel. It's not cheap, but to have the resources like Bubba has now, hopefully this opens the floodgates. Okay. I just want to see if you win Daytona, I'm good after that. You ain't got to win no more, Bubba.
Okay.
Win Daytona.
So the other reason this did my heart so much good, this happened at Talladega. Yeah. Again, Daytona would be the epitome.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're a big NASCAR fan.
I am. Talladega's next biggest.
But Talladega is the heart of Southern racing, right? Yeah. Alabama. It's when Will Ferrell did the spoof movie. It was called Talladega Nights, right? And they shot a lot of the scenes at the Talladega. What happened a year or so ago, as Bubba and his crew was assigned to a certain garage? One of his crew members found a noose in said garage. The FBI investigated and found that the noose had been used as a door pull, a garage door pull in that garage for over a year. I remain skeptical and suspicious of why they assigned Bubba to that garage, because I think that could have been avoided, because it seemed the FBI said it was common knowledge in the garage area.
And then why would you tie it like that? Why not just call it a ball knot?
It was tied as a noose.
I know.
It was a noose.
It's, being on the farm, Skip, I know about tying knots. And what we would do is tie what we call a ball knot. So that way you can just reach up there and pull it just like you would. It's big like a ball and just pull it down.
Okay.
So, I worked in a lot of barns in my lifetime.
Yep. So it was great that Bubba did it at Talladega. And his quotes after the race were about, it's definitely been tough going to some of the tracks this year because we get some more booze now than we used to get. Okay, so what happened after the noose incident and after the FBI investigated? Well, our then President Donald Trump falsely accused Bubba Wallace of making up the noose situation. And exaggerating and orchestrating the noose situation, which was absolute lie.
But the FBI said it was a noose, although it wasn't. We don't believe it was placed there for intimidation purposes. We believe it was put there for a door pull. It was what Bubba said it was.
Okay. And then it was reported that there was much more internet fallout even yesterday, that Bubba won a rain-shortened race, but he made a sweet move to get the lead when it was clear the rain was coming and you better go for it now. And he did, and he pulled it off. So I'm not putting an asterisk beside this.
No, because Skip, that's happened before. Guys have won Daytona. Guys have won plenty of races on rain-shortened races. But now, see, whatever you can to diminish what the man has accomplished. Oh, it was rain-shortened. Okay, it's happened before. Guys have won the Daytona. The guys have run other races in rain-shortened events. And nobody said a word about it.
Nobody said a word, but he's going to take some internet fallout negativity. So Bubba's final quotes after the race yesterday was, "You're going to go through a lot of BS to get where I had to get. But you always got to stick true to your path and not let the nonsense get to you. Stay strong, stay humble, stay hungry," said Bubba. "Been plenty of times when I wanted to give up." I'm sure there are many times that he wanted to say, okay, I just can't take the nonsense of this. It's just ridiculous, because even though he was at the forefront of getting the Confederate flags eliminated from the venues, there's still cavalcades of people who drive, parades of people who drive past even Talladega with Confederate flags flying just to protest. And one was even pulling a carriage that had a Civil War cannon.
Skip, look, I'm in Atlanta, and Hampton is a big racetrack, and you see they lined up. They got their big pickup trucks and they flying the Confederate flags heading down to Hampton. Mm-hmm. So this is you might not can have it on the track itself.
Right.
But guess what? Going to the track, they're gonna have them out.
They're gonna have them out. And Bubba broke through.
Come on, Bubba. Yep. Now we need February to get that Daytona. Okay, I wouldn't mind if you get Charlotte also. Yeah, I can do the Coca-Cola 400.
You'd be happy though with Daytona, I think.
But if he get Daytona. Man, they don't tell him what I might come in here and do, Bubba. Hey, you get Daytona, it's over. Skip, that's Super Bowl. Mm. That's Doug Williams. That's Doug Williams.
Bingo.
Doug can do no wrong. Doug good. And the rest of Doug didn't have to win another game. I don't think
By
he
the
did.
way, your Broncos were the victim that day.
They were. 35-10. Doug got hot on them.
All right. Well, congratulations to Bubba. We know this is just the beginning, and so cool. Michael Jordan congratulating him, knowing he always had the talent. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for that team.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.